Okay, now I'm going to do the rocks. So, and the shadows on the rocks. So, really, I need some burnt sienna for this, I think. Maybe burnt umber will be okay. So, partly burnt sienna and burnt umber. And maybe mix some of this with it. Now, the biggest problem here is that less is more. I'm sure you've heard of that. And it's completely true. The only problem is we always want to add more. So, trying to leave a few white gaps here. There are some areas where mostly it's all in shade. Like a lot of this is in shade. And it gets darker as we go down. That variety in the shadows is very important. Okay. So I don't copy my original painting, well, photograph, exactly. Ooh. Okay. So this is not looking too bad. Yeah. I'm using my fingernail there. Not very successfully, but there you go. It worked well enough. And then I'm going to do this one over here. And where he is, I guess I can wipe that out a bit. Okay. And then I need some of this phthalo blue burnt umber, sort of a greeny colour. And just suggesting reflections. Yeah. There we go. And this is the difficult bit now. Less is more. So here, try and do very, very few marks, because then this will glow. So one of the things we tend to do is kill our lights. By just basically painting too much shadow. I think you always have to do less shadow than you think. That's the tricky thing. It seems so obvious. Okay, and then let's go dark. Just checked then that the video was on. I just had this feeling, is the video actually on? Have I just, well, I haven't wasted my time because I've got a nice painting, but okay, yeah, I like it, but okay, here we go. Maybe a bad idea. Few more marks. So say one thing, do another. Okay, I think that will do. Okay, yes, like it. Although, maybe here, this isn't so bad because this is already a shaded area. So, I think I can get away with this. Yeah, that's safe. And I might be able to clean this up a little bit. Yeah, there. Oh, nice. Oh, great. And then this, with a touch of this. So it's just burnt umber, phthalo blue. Don't you love it when it's just simple? And then, to be honest, there's almost no reflection. But I'm going to add some because I think it helps make it look like it's not just stuck on. It feels like it's more blending into the painting, this rock. Okay, there we go. And then what I'm going to do, because this figure is white, so we're thinking about figures now. White, oh dear. Blue, Mr. Blue. So Mr. Blue, this is not like the answer. Like this is not, I think, going to work brilliantly. But I think if we can remove some of this blue paint, then when we paint all these figures, this one is not going to look darker. But it could be, it could be like, a guy with darker skin colour, or he could even have, be browner because he's been in the sun longer. So, and that's not such a bad idea actually, because one of the problems I still have as an artist after 20 years, one of my biggest weaknesses actually is my figures, because there's not enough variety in my figures. So like if you look at these figures here, I mean, they all look, well, they're all thin. So I think at least one fat figure would look more interesting, lot more interesting. Also maybe one a bit shorter, another a bit taller. And it scares me to do that actually, because I just think it's going to look weird. It's just not going to look right, like I painted it wrong. And so that's my hang up about that. And also if I paint like a fat figure, I mean, like it's difficult because there's fat and there's fat. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like there's people who are like a bit fat, then there's people who are really quite fat, but they've still got, like a very definite form. I mean, sometimes you don't know if it's fat or even muscle. And then there's people who are really, like have lost basically basic definition, those people, like who have like a big belly, those guys who have beer bellies, actually need to add more figures like that. I like that shape. I think it's a very interesting shape, and it would be good for my paintings for variety, to be honest. But it can be very difficult to do that. It is for me a bit challenging, but I will bit by bit do that. And of course all of these are men, because I find men much easier to paint than women, to be honest. And also, to be honest, I don't want to paint, like sexy women or whatever, women with boobs or whatever. I don't know why that is. But I just don't really want to paint them, because I don't know, just I don't want it to look rude or a bit too over the top, you know what I mean? So I find painting guys very, very, I don't know, safe, and yeah, something like that anyway. So anyway, at some point I will have to start painting women a bit more. Okay, so look, we did manage to get rid of some of the blue there. So let's leave this to dry, and then let's go on and paint the figures.